following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Mo, what's up, bro?
Let me say something else, too, about Mo Patton. Mo has done it all. I mean, he's covered the Titans. He's covered the Vols. He's done high school. He's a fantastic writer. He's now actually hosting a talk show every day in Columbia that is outstanding.
Mo, you know me because we've covered high school sports for years together. Ever since I moved here, you were one of the first people I met, and I just adore you.
'Tis the season to be hectic.
I will say it is the craziest time of year. Everyone's like, oh, it's the most wonderful time of year. I'm like, oh, it's the busiest time of year. But I got to tell you, it's my favorite.
It may be raining outside, but it's raining hot takes on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Wait a minute. Travis Hunter went where?
I call it the Dion or the Coach Prime factor. The Coach Prime factor, and it exists.
Okay, that makes sense, Teresa.
Top 2 recruit in the country from his alma mater, Florida State, flips him to Jackson State, prompting some jersey burning, some fire. Mike Norvell
adding insult to injury.
Right? So basically, the Jackson State staffers went into the Florida State fans' Twitter spaces and was talking trash.
We got your boy.
And we've got your favorite sports talk show around. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome into a Friday edition, Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Looking forward to a finale to this week. Next week, a short week, fellas. Just want to let everybody know that we will not be on the air Thursday or Friday of next week. So you can get all of your information at the beginning of the week when you're also at work before you take off. Got a fantastic show today, Mo. I mean, really, really good.
Looking forward to it. We've not had many shows that I've looked forward to the way I look forward to this one, because we've got a lot of information and we got a couple of great guests.
It's going to be phenomenal. If you are waiting on Titans with Andrew, he's not in studio, but he will be joining us via phone in the next segment. We've got former Georgia coach and current ESPN analyst Andy Landers joining us. He's going to talk a little Stanford UT women's hoops with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Former CPA coach and Vanderbilt standout Drew Maddux is going to join us as well. He'll talk Memphis U2, and we'll probably talk a little Vandy too, I'm sure.
Yeah, you will. Come on.
Be hard not to, wouldn't it? And then, of course, our bowl picks continue. We get you all the way up through Wednesday. And then next Wednesday, we will pick until the next week. So we'll continue going, although our picks are available on the Bowl Mania. If you have clicked that link that is on our Twitter and joined the Bowl Mania, we appreciate it.
Mo, did you get in on this?
I did not.
Probably
Again, not?
I did not.
You can still get in.
Well, you know what? There's no reason to start now.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's
You
just
didn't
$1
do the
million.
regular
There's
season.
just $1 million at stake.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying that, it's possible. Hey, it could happen.
It could happen. Yeah.
It may not happen after the first game today.
There we go. One
So,
and out.
There you know. Anyway, got a lot to get to. A ton of top stories as well. So let's go ahead and get you yesterday's results today, this weekend's schedule on the rundown.
This is the Rundown. The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support local youth sports in Southern Middle Tennessee.
In high school basketball action from Thursday night, girls play. Moore County defeated Culleoka 63-22. It was Hampshire defeating Lewis County 42-20. On the boys' side, Culleoka knocked off Moore County 59-51, and Lewis County edged Hampshire 54-49. NCAA men's basketball action last night. Tennessee State with a 78-75 win over Charleston Southern.
In today's high school basketball action, Loretto is taking on Lauderdale County down at the Times Daily Classic in Florence. They started at 3:30. Columbia Academy boys are up at Clarksville Academy. That game will tip at 5:30. Brentwood is at Independence. It's a 6 o'clock tip. The rest are 6 o'clock tips. Columbia Central doubleheader at Fayetteville, and Lawrence County doubleheader at Summertown.
Also, Lewis County is at Santa Fe. Mount Pleasant travels to Richland, and Summit goes to Green Hill for 6 p.m. doubleheaders tonight. On Saturday, Independence hosts Antioch. That's a 3 o'clock start for that doubleheader there. Loretto boys will continue in the Times Daily tournament down in Florence against either Mars Hill or Shoals Christian of Alabama.
In wrestling action tonight, Page is at Summit. That's a 6:15 start, and tomorrow Independence is at Beach, and Spring Hill Summit will be at Brentwood Academy duels.
Yeah, that's an invitational tournament up at Beach that Independence will be participating in. On Saturday, men's NCAA basketball action includes Austin P at Vanderbilt. That's a 1:30 tip on the SEC network. At 11 o'clock tomorrow morning at Bridgestone, Memphis plays Tennessee. That game can be heard on 103.7 WKRM. And at 7:30 tomorrow night at Coleman Coliseum, Alabama hosts Jacksonville State. Again, that's 7:30. That's right here on 101.7 WKOM, Stake Hockey. NCAA women's basketball action, 4:15 on Saturday. Stanford travels to Thompson Bowling Arena. That game will be televised on ESPN2. And at 6 o'clock on Saturday, MTSU hosts Southern Illinois.
In NHL action tonight, Preds are at Chicago. Well, Preds/Admirals, I guess they're still at Chicago. 7:30 puck drop. NBA action, Memphis travels to Sacramento to take on the Kings. That's a 9 o'clock tip. And on Sunday, the Titans are at the Steelers. That's a noon kickoff right here. That's going to do it for your rundown on Southern Miss Tennessee Sports Today. All right. Time to get into our top stories. One of the top stories locally, so I guess we're probably breaking this as far as news-related things are going.
I guess it depends on your definition, but former baseball coach at Columbia Academy in Spring Hill, Lee Hayes, passed away this morning at the age of 58. I guess complications from a brain aneurysm that he suffered a couple of weeks ago on December 1st. So Coach Hayes was 58 years old. Most recently, he had worked with the Murray County Sheriff's Department after completing a coaching and teaching career that also included stops at E.A. Cox and at Withorn here in Columbia. And he was residing here in Columbia at the time of his aneurysm a couple weeks ago and had been hospitalized since. And our condolences go out to his family and friends and the people that he had impacted during his coaching and teaching career.
In other, well, news doesn't get any better, I guess. It could have been worse, but it's certainly not great. Columbia Central guard Amari Franklin had surgery this morning, right?
I'm not sure if he has had it. He was scheduled to have it at some point today to address a fractured trachea.
That doesn't sound fun.
It doesn't. I mean, it just kind of makes you grab your throat. Seriously. I mean, he and teammate Bubba Perkins collided during a drill in practice, and an elbow from Perkins or Franklin in the throat, and it was just a freak accident from all indications. have not had a chance to converse with Central coach Nick Campbell yet, efforting to reach him, but apparently Franklin Omari got elbowed in the throat, had that injury. In the collision, Bubba hit his head because apparently it happened like right underneath the basket in the gym, and the doors and the metal frames. He somehow hit one of those and hit his head. So
yeah, Chaz Mulder posted on Facebook, said that wanted to share a post saying how grateful he is for the coach and trainer who provided critical life-saving support on the scene, as well as city and county first responders from Murray Regional and Vanderbilt Health. There were miracles performed yesterday for this young man and team. Thank God for that. Be strong, Amari. Your community is here for you. So
there you go. We hope to have more information on that, and at some point get something posted to our website at mainstreetmurray.com. And it'll probably be tweeted out at Main Street Murray as well.
There's that.
Yeah, so you can look for further information on both of those items.
As we get it.
Yeah.
Got a few minutes here left. Finally, some landing spots for some quarterbacks who were in the transfer portal, Mo.
Well, you'd like to think that everyone that goes into the transfer portal will come out. At least these three guys did. Central Florida quarterback Dylan Gabriel has landed at UCLA.
He went from playing for Chip Kelly Light to actually playing for Chip Kelly. So there's that.
Adrian Martinez from Nebraska to K-State. That's a lateral move at best.
Yeah, I don't get that one, but okay.
Hey, I guess he just wanted to get gone. Here's the one that interests me. So we talked about Zach Calzada leaving Texas A&M for points unknown. Max Johnson from LSU is headed to Texas A&M.
Okay. That one.
I don't know that that's so much where he's going as where he was coming from. It's apparent to me he didn't want to play for Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Or Brian Kelly didn't want him to play for him.
For anything that I've seen from Max Johnson doesn't tell me that he's capable of playing at Texas A&M. That's
fair.
Of course, then again, they just lost their quarterback, so maybe he might be the only option.
Well, they've got the kid back that Calzada replaced.
I'm sure that kid's probably going to be at least back.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think Jimbo Fisher would prefer if Max Johnson were available for the bowl game that's coming up. I don't think that's the case. But.
Somebody said that the other day when they were talking about Tank Bigsby potentially transferring to Alabama, and it's like, theoretically, could he play in the bowl game in the playoffs?
Playoffs?
No, that's not how this works.
No, it's not how this works at all.
How any of this works.
Mm. And finally,
the last thing we have on our the Raiders and Browns have been moved from Saturday to Monday,
which means we get 2 Monday night games.
Yeah. Now, was that game scheduled for ESPN on Saturday?
I'm sure it was. There were 2 games on the schedule for.
Okay,
Saturday,
so it will be a Monday Night Football doubleheader then.
It may have been NBC.
Oh, well, I don't know. I assume whatever network it was supposed to be on is what it will be.
It was
on.
supposed to be on the NFL Network.
Oh, well, so nobody could have watched it anyway.
Both these games on Saturday were supposed to be on the NFL Network.
Jeez.
Now,
I hope they're on Prime too.
Now, apparently, Adam Schefter is reporting that both the Seahawks at Rams and the football team at Eagles are now supposed to be scheduled for Tuesday. No confirmation on that, but again, it's Adam Schefter. So
take that for what you would like.
There you go.
We'll talk more NFL On the other side of the break, Andrew Moore will join us and we'll talk Titans. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today will return to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
From the Blue Raiders to the two-tone blue, covering the teams you care about. It's only on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Hey, welcome back in at Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. It is the Friday edition, and we are talking Titans, as we do every Friday, getting you ready for the weekend of NFL action. Before I forget, this is what I was talking about, Mo. Andrew Moore is going to join us here in just a second. Zach Cox of Northeast Sports Network says, with their overtime win tonight, the Chiefs took over first place in the AFC, at least temporarily. The Patriots retake number one if they beat the Colts on Saturday, and the Titans take over if the Patriots lose to the Colts on Saturday. So no matter what, the Chiefs are only in first place for a few days.
Enjoy it.
But hey, pull up the
your first place Kansas City Chiefs.
at least for 4 days. Oh man.
Wow. Well, I guess if both New England and Tennessee lose.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, I guess that's conceivable.
Yeah.
Interesting. Titans just need to win.
They do.
Titans win, and they either clinch a playoff spot or move into the number one spot and cannot lose it.
Both, would it not?
Now, if
Okay.
the Colts win,
Then they don't clinch the division.
then they don't clinch the division.
But they would.
But they would be the number one seed. They wouldn't have clinched the 1 seed, but they would move into it with, the ability to control their own destiny.
But if the Colts lose,
They automatically
then
they're
clinch
in.
the division.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs with a win.
Yeah. So they need to just win, like you said.
Again, magic numbers 2. So
Here we go.
Andrew Moore is on the line. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Andrew, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What are you doing down there?
Well, we just got done with the staff meetings, which is actually kind of really good time, and thank you for saving me from that, by the way. Just kind of sitting back and nodding my head like I know what's going on. So, well, yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Was that a staff meeting when an email would have done?
Most of them are, yeah.
Been there, done
Most
that.
staff meetings, this could have been an email.
Yeah.
No question.
It makes me feel important for a few minutes, so I'll take it.
There you go. So, what you thinking about Sunday? How you feeling?
I'm strangely confident, which kind of scares me a little bit. 'Cause every time I felt confident this year, I've had to take back everything I've said on this show. So, like y'all were just saying a couple minutes ago, I mean, the easiest thing for us to do is just to win. And this is a game where going against the Steelers, this is a rivalry that's not as strong as it used to be. But going back a couple of decades, this used to be a bloodbath.
Literally.
AFC Central. Yeah, exactly. I mean, going back to the early 2000s when we were still in the AFC Central playing against Pittsburgh, going all the way back to Houston. This is just a team and the Steelers that this franchise they seem to have a hard time beating. I think the last time we beat them was opening day of, what year was that, 2013, 2014? So that's getting up close to 10 years. So, I mean, we're due for a Pittsburgh game where we actually come out as the victor.
Did you see Teron Davenport's video of so apparently, Bud Dupree is designated to return, but they still haven't made a decision on whether or not he will. He was getting pretty hype during stretches at practice yesterday while they were playing black and yellow over the speakers. So there's that.
Having Bud Dupree, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me currently, but just what he's done, even though his numbers haven't been outstanding this year, just what he does to open up the defense has been incredible. And just having him back, players love going up against the team that decided, you know what, you're not good enough. Let's send you on somewhere else. I mean, players love going up against their former team. So he is on the track to come back. He has been practicing all week. I guess we'll find out in the next 48 or less hours if he's going to play or not, which I'm really, really, really hoping that he is. We do have some defensive players that are going to be out on Sunday.
Yeah, I saw where David Long is definitely going to be out. I know Taylor Tart's still out. Not sure who else is, but
Janoris Jenkins and Laurel Murchison are the other two that are going to be out for the defense.
But you know who's going to play?
Who's that?
Zach Cunningham.
Are we allowed to talk about it?
We are in fact allowed to talk about it.
I'm not asking about it.
We're not asking anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see a lot of Zach Cunningham, but you might. I mean, he's played for Rabel before. I would expect a little sprinkle of Zach Cunningham in there, which is just going to bring another element to this defense that a defense that's actually kind of surprised me. Even going back a couple months ago on the show, we were talking about the season predictions. I said I have no worry about the offense at all, but it's defense that scares me. Now, sitting here a week from Christmas in December, it's the complete opposite. The defense, I have no worries about. It's the offense that scares me at this point. So adding someone like Zach Cunningham, who, I mean, we all know he's a monster. He has a great motor. He tackles everything that comes in front of him. Just adding him in this last month to that push to hopefully the number one seed, just adding him is going to be huge for this team.
Yeah, like you said, the offense is scary, especially when Roger Saffold is out again against this Steelers defensive front. Could be a problem.
They could, but the Steelers are kind of confusing. I
Yes,
mean, they can go into Baltimore. They can go against Baltimore and beat them, but they could also go to Minnesota and do. Well, I don't know what kind word I want to use. Just do some stupid stuff. I'll just say that to lose themselves the game. So personally, I'm hoping for the stupid side. But I mean, you can't underestimate a team. Even Ben Roethlisberger, which sounds like it's going to be his last year playing. Was this year like 16, 17 for him? He's not as dominant as he used to be, but he can still bring that out in himself from time to time. He's been a real nemesis for us for the last almost 20 years.
You know, you do get that impression that Ben is about to shut it down, and the inconsistency on both sides of the ball for Pittsburgh, I imagine, has a lot to do with that. Just it just feels like it's time for them to kind of go in another direction, and what bigger, more impactful way to signify that than to move on from your forever starting quarterback.
Future Hall of Famer, in my opinion, starting quarterback. But I mean, I feel like they've already started making that transition with drafting Najee Harris, who is, I mean, he's one heck of a ball player. That was a really good draft for them. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do going in the future. We're getting to that weird point. I don't know about y'all. For me personally, these are all these quarterbacks that I watched growing up. You know, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, and they're starting to, except for Tom Brady, they're all starting to fall off. So I mean, it's a cool transition into a new generation of football that I'm excited to watch.
And it's interesting. Todd McShay released his first mock draft earlier this week, and I think the Steelers are projected, or he is projecting the Steelers to take Kenny Pickett from Pitt in the first round.
Well,
the first quarterback off the board.
Easy move.
Yeah, it would make sense.
That'd be it would be an easy move. Like I said, it's exciting. Just seeing these new generation of quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, even though he lost last night, and Lamar Jackson, and I guess the jury's still out on Baker Mayfield. But we're transitioning into a new era of football, and just Pittsburgh being Pittsburgh. I mean, I probably wasn't alive the last time that they were a bad team. So I mean, I kind of fully expect them to regroup with or without Ben Roethlisberger going forward.
There you go. The good thing is we got some wood around here. The Titans, unlike the rest of the NFL, or at least several teams in the NFL, are not dealing with COVID issues for the first time. I guess that's one of the
harder.
Listen, I guess that's one of the good things about everybody having gotten COVID already.
Get it out the way.
They got it all last year, not to worry about it now. But it could be, you know, if Ryan Tannehill and Logan Woodside were to go out, you know, I guess we could do like the Browns. Apparently Tim Couch has offered his services to the Browns.
Good luck.
He said, "Come on, I can hand off to Chubb and throw screens."
Which I'm sure he would have loved to have someone like Nick Chubb.
No kidding.
You know, 20 years ago.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know, dude. He threw up an Instagram picture a couple of days ago, and I mean, he certainly looks like he could still play. He's the same age as Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady is an anomaly, though. He's just a being of his own, and that's all you can really say about Tom Brady. But with the way the Browns are dropping right now, I mean, I guess there would be worse options to choose, I guess, other than Tim Couch.
You mean
maybe.
Like Nick Mullins?
Which
is who they've chosen.
What's crazy is Tim Couch and Tom Brady are the same age. Tim Couch retired in 2007.
I didn't know he made it that long.
I was going to say, I didn't realize he played up until 07. That's crazy.
that kind of blew me away right there, Mo.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, it's kind of like who was the guy that played for Kansas City, and we were like, wait, that guy's still in the league? Chase Daniel.
Now wait a minute. Okay, so he was with the Browns from 99 to 03. Then he's with the Packers in 04 and Jacksonville in 07. But according to Wikipedia, he's got asterisks next to both those, and it says off-season and or practice squad member only. So it doesn't look like he accumulated stats past 1998. No, wait a minute. No, that's not right. I'm sorry. That was his SEC. No, his 2003 season in Cleveland is the last year that he put up any stats. So, yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Meanwhile, he and Tom Brady are the same age, and he's been out for almost 20 years.
Could we get Vince Young to fill in if necessary?
Pass. Hard pass. Y'all can't see me shaking my head right now, but hard pass.
Hey, man, I mean, it could be worse. We could have Tim Couch to fall back on. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So that kind of opens up. I'm not going to go into my Vince Young tangent that I had with someone down here at Asgard the other night, but I'll just say hard pass.
I hear you. Man, this is going to be a big game. It's noon on Sunday. It's terrible towel. We can deal with all kind of dumb stuff.
Let's not stomp on any towels this weekend in Pittsburgh.
Let's not.
Let's not.
Let's not. We do have Jim Nance and Tony Romo calling the game, so
it must be a big game.
For what it is, that's pretty big having the A team on CBS calling your game. So
yeah, it's better than the double Z team.
It's better than any team that involves Jay Feely.
There you go.
True. I was at the game Sunday, but I did hear some ramblings of some stupid stuff that was said by him throughout the broadcast. So,
be glad
you mean everything he said.
Be glad you were at the game and you didn't have to be subjected to it.
That's how the NFL is getting people to buy tickets to games now. They're putting Jay Feely on the broadcast.
Either James Feely or Lofton, one of the two would definitely get me to go to the game.
Lofton's not as bad as Feely. Lofton is bad, but he's not as bad as Feely. That's another level of bad.
I can agree with you there. Like y'all said, the easiest thing is for us to do is win. I'm pulling for a tie on Saturday playing the Pats, and hey, I will feel a lot better about myself if they tie, if the Colts win. So
exactly. Andrew, we appreciate it, man. We'll talk at you next week.
No problem. Y'all have a great weekend.
We got more to come, obviously, on the show, and I'm looking forward to it because we get to talk to former Georgia coach and current ESPN analyst Andy Landers right after this. Stick around on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
The sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Looking forward to this weekend as some great college basketball on both the men's and women's side set to take place. Middle Tennessee State is hosting Southern Illinois, as we mentioned earlier. That's a 6 p.m. tip on tonight, actually. And if you are looking for anything else going on, Ole Miss and Stanford are playing right now on SEC Network Plus. But what we are interested in tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon on ESPN2, what I believe is probably I guess I put them in categories yesterday. The mutual respect rivalry rather than the pure hatred rivalry is Stanford coming to TBA to take on Tennessee, the number 3 ranked Cardinal against the number 7 ranked Vols.
Lady Vols. Yeah.
And this is a big game. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to checking it out. But I really don't. I don't have it as much history with this. I know it's a big rivalry. I mean, you probably dealt with it a lot more than anybody else has. I mean, you kind of lived it at least for a couple of years, right?
3.
Few.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
What's a year among friends?
Yeah. Big win, a big game for Kelly Harper, who is 0 for 3 thus far against Stanford. So looking to break through in this rivalry with a win on UT's home floor that would also take them to 10-0 on the season. So, and would be their 3rd win over a top 25 program to this point. So
there you go. Well, in order to get some analysis,
some real information,
we should bring in an analyst. What do you say?
There we go.
Former UGA coach Andy Landers joins us now here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day. Coach, thanks for taking some time and welcome in.
It's a pleasure, fellas. Good to be with you today.
Coach, before we go any further, I told a friend of mine that we were going to have you on today, and he told me to be sure and tell you that Sharon Perkins said hello.
Well, who did you see?
Chris Perkins, Sharon's husband, and Sharon is the former Georgia assistant, now at Georgia Southern with softball. Chris and I go way back, and so I'm I hope he's listening. He's probably listening, but I wanted to make sure that he knew that you were going to be on with us today, and it's really a pleasure to have you on our airwaves today, Coach. What do you see in this UT Stanford game? I mean, again, Stanford coming in number 3. They're 7-2 overall. The Lady Vols on a roll under Kelly. Back in the top 10 for the first time in, 3 years? Was that what we said the other day? So, big game. And even bigger for UT in light of where they've been over the last little bit, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's a big game for both teams for different reasons. Stanford's dropped a couple of games already this year, and prior to the season was one of the 2 or 3 favorites to make it back to the Final Four and play for the national championship. So, for them, I think it's important that they get a win like this, particularly on the road. And I think their losses already this year were road losses. I'm not certain about that, but or at least neutral floor losses. And then for Tennessee, trying to reestablish themselves. Since Pat's retirement, they have flirted with being really good. They have been in the polls. They've been highly ranked. But at the end of the day, I think more than anything else, probably a little bit disappointing. So, for them to be able to win a game like this, I think for Tennessee, it might signal the return of the Lady Vols and on the national scene. It amazes me really how much of the luster has been lost with Tennessee women's basketball, with the Lady Vols. We went through decades of just pure excellence, always in the hunt, never could count them out. Dominance in the Southeastern Conference. Teams for years went without ever having beaten Tennessee. And I think, not certain, but I think that now every team in the Southeastern Conference just in the last 6-7 years has beaten Tennessee. And several of them in Knoxville, which was something that it was hard for me to imagine, having lived through the Summit era. It's amazing what happened there. So I think it's a big game. The Stanford game is a big game for Tennessee, trying to reestablish themselves on the national scene.
And Coach, it's interesting that you say that. And having watched SEC women's basketball, having covered SEC women's basketball, I don't know how much of it. Well, I know some of it was Tennessee, but I also know that some of it has been the rise of Mississippi State and South Carolina and Arkansas coming into the league and that kind of thing. And I don't know how you determine how much of it was Tennessee falling off and how much of it was those other programs coming on, but it does seem like all of that took place at the same time.
I don't discount the fact that Mississippi State made a good run. Certainly South Carolina has made an excellent run, but again, having lived it, we in Tennessee both played for the national championship. We went to 5 Final Fours during Tennessee's years of dominance. LSU went to the Final Four 2-3 times during that time. Ole Miss was excellent. Auburn went to the Final Four, played for the national championship twice during Tennessee's dominance. So, you go all the way back to the 80s. I mean, there were years when we in Tennessee both were ranked, Georgia and Tennessee both were ranked in the top 5 in the country. So there's always been credible competitors in the Southeastern Conference. Even when Pat had it rolling, there wasn't a given. It wasn't a given that they would win the league. They had to go through at least 2 teams to get that done. And those 2 teams were good enough to get to the Final Four and oftentimes did. So the league, the players, meaning teams, the teams have changed, albeit Mississippi State, South Carolina. But the challenge, I think, was the same for Pat that it's been for Holly and for Kelly.
What do you like about Kelly in that spot, Coach, now in her 4th year?
Well, having coached, I try not to judge coaches. I know how hard a job it is. I think that they've made some progress. I think the thing that in order to get back to that level where you're going to compete for national championships year in, year out, you have to recruit at the highest level. You have to have the best players. It's no mystery. When we were a Final Four team, we had All-Americans and National Players of the Year. Tennessee had the same, and now South Carolina is doing that. And in order to be back at that same level, I do think the recruiting will need to go up another notch.
Coach, it's interesting that you mentioned that because Tennessee's best player is hurt, and they've done most of their damage this year without Ray Burrell, and that's impressive.
It really is. But you look at what happened. I scratched my head for 2 years with Horston, because Horston, coming out of high school out of Ohio, she's now a junior, as to why she didn't perform at a higher level. And now that Ray Burrell is out, I think she's been forced to do that, as well as development. I'm sure there's some coaching and development that has taken place in the last 2 years. But, by and large, as a top player, and at one time she was ranked the number 1 player in the country. If you go back and look at her last 2 years, it's been kind of disappointing. So she has emerged now. And when Ray gets back, when Burrell gets back, I think it could really be a great thing for Tennessee that, you don't ever want a player, an athlete, to be hurt or injured, but that may be the silver lining in Ray Burrell's injury. Their Horston has started to play the way a lot of people thought she should be playing.
Jordan Horston, one of 2 players for the Lady Vols, averaging nearly a double-double, 15.6 points, 9.5 rebounds per game. Tamari Key with 9.7 points and 10.2 rebounds heading into this Stanford matchup. We're speaking here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today with former Georgia coach, current ESPN analyst, Andy Landers. And, Coach, we've got a question that has come to us from Facebook. Someone asking your thoughts on first-year Vanderbilt coach Shea Ralph.
Well, again, I try to stay out of the business of evaluating, particularly this early. Shea's only been on the job 7 or 8, 9 months. What she has done with the team that she inherited has been impressive. I think she's done a very good job with that group. And I'm anxious to see where she can take it. I think most people would agree that Vanderbilt is a unique job, and some would argue that it's a difficult job because of the academic standards and the restrictions that they have about who you can get into school and who you can't. So if she understands, if Shea understands who is out there in that recruiting pool that can both get into Vanderbilt, and succeed academically at Vanderbilt and play at a high level. We know that it's been done before. Jim Foster was excellent for years at Vanderbilt. Melanie Balcom was excellent for years at Vanderbilt. We know that it's doable, but it's a challenge. And all I can say at this point is what she's done so far has been impressive.
Coach Andy Landers, thanks so much for taking some time with us today. A fantastic information. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. Anytime.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk men's hoops with Vanderbilt standout Drew Maddux, and now current analyst for SEC Network. So there you go. Stick around after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Let me say something else too about Mo Patton. Mo has done it all. I mean, he's covered the Titans, he's covered the Vols, he's done high school. He's a fantastic writer. He's now actually hosting a talk show every day in Columbia that is outstanding.
Mo, you know me because we've covered high school sports for years together. Ever since I moved here, you were one of the first people I met, and I just adore you.
'Tis the season to be hectic.
I will say it is the craziest time of year. Everyone's like, oh, it's the most wonderful time of year. I'm like, oh, it's the busiest time of year. But I got to tell you, it's my favorite.
It may be raining outside, but it's raining hot takes on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Wait a minute. Travis Hunter went where?
I call it the Dion or the Coach Prime factor. The Coach Prime factor, it exists.
Okay, that makes sense, Teresa.
Top 2 recruit in the country from his alma mater, Florida State, flips him to Jackson State, prompting some jersey burning, some fire. Mike Norvell,
Adding insult to injury.
right? So basically, the Jackson State staffers went into the Florida State fans' Twitter spaces and was talking trash.
We got your boy.
And we've got your favorite sports talk show around. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome back in. It is the top of hour number 2. So thanks for taking some time with us today. Hope you are enjoying your start to your weekend. It is going to be a phenomenal weekend of some college football, some college basketball, both on the women's and men's side. You can't beat it. If you don't do anything but sit in front of a television this weekend, you will be just fine. So
That's good.
because that's what you're planning to do. I hear you. Not mad at you. Not mad at you. A little jealous. Not mad at you. But a lot of folks will be shopping. I mean, some folks don't have all their shopping done. And you've only got 8 more shopping days before Christmas. Just FYI. So in case you're a procrastinator, maybe like me, maybe not, you could be out there on the front lines at the malls and shopping centers. And if you need to stay on the road and get it done, I recommend you probably get some gas and some snacks from our friends at Fast Stop Markets. They'll definitely take care of you. They'll get you out the door quick, keep you moving with whatever you need to survive the last few shopping days. You can also make your shopping dollars go further when you enroll in Fast Stop Perks. It's quick, easy, and free, and you'll get rewarded with money off gas and items inside the store. The nice folks at Fast Stop can get you up, and you can go online at faststopperks.com and sign up today. There you go. Gotta love Fast Stop Friday. Mo, we just talked to Andy Landers about some women's college hoops. So it seems only fitting that we bring in our ringer for men's college hoops.
Because we practice gender equity around here, unlike the NCAA.
Well, hey, they're paying officials the same amount now, Mo.
Finally.
So looking forward to a conversation here with former CPA head basketball coach Drew Maddux. Coach, welcome in.
Guys, how are y'all today? Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you, Drew. Appreciate you taking some time with us. Chris and I have been discussing Memphis basketball, of all things, a bit here over the last couple of weeks, particularly that skit that they were on before. They wore different uniforms. I guess it was the same players. I'm not sure. In that Alabama game earlier this week. And so now they've kind of got things going in the right direction as they head into Bridgestone for an 11 o'clock game tomorrow against UT. And Memphis, Tennessee has really become one of those games where literally you can throw the records out the window anyway. But, you know, what do you like about this Memphis team right now as they come in here?
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching them play up to their potential against Alabama earlier this week. As you said, Mo, we had seen the last 4 games in this losing streak. They've won 5 in a row early in the year. Probably their signature win was Virginia Tech. It really went on this 4-game losing streak. And so you hate to use the term must win this early in the season, but in terms of hearing some of the dissension that was coming out of the locker room, was Penny Hardaway losing this team? Was there bickering between the veteran players, the young nucleus of players? This was a must win, and they certainly got that in front of an electric crowd.
And, as you look at Memphis and their situation, when you get down the road, you don't think about December games having that big a role in postseason play. But, Drew, their conference affiliation doesn't afford them a lot of opportunities for resume building victories necessarily. And so that win over Alabama does them a lot of good as they look in that direction as well, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna have to have some higher quality wins. As you look at their conference right now, just the Houston Cougars would be a ranked team in that conference, though, as you're alluding to. So Central Florida had a big win last night on television, but in terms of their conference, you're looking at a conference that tends to get two, probably at large bids at best if it's outside of Memphis and Houston winning their conference tournament. So once again, this game against Tennessee is a signature matchup. This is a game on a neutral court here in Nashville tomorrow, early tip time, 11 a.m. Central Time. That is another one of those games that is a resume builder. It's not only that for NCAA hopes, but this early in the season, can Penny Hardaway continue to mold this group into maximizing their potential? They obviously have Bates and they have Durant. I'll tell you, an interesting subplot to the story to the Alabama game. Bates did not play the last 14 minutes of that game and played a total of 15 minutes. He's a potential lottery pick, and they went on to play their best basketball without him on the floor. So it will be interesting to see him tomorrow, to see him return back to action. But I think Durant is a big-time player. He's going to be a top-5 pick. And I think tomorrow's game is going to be who wins the turnover battle. Tennessee, one of the best in terms of turnover margin, taking care of the basketball. Memphis, one of the slipperiest of teams in terms of turnovers in all of the country. Who wins that number tomorrow will be the team that wins the game.
And with that in mind, Tennessee with a freshman guard, Kennedy Chandler, playing a lot of minutes. The fact that they've been able to minimize their turnovers the way they have, and you would think that Memphis is going to come at him defensively tomorrow.
You think this game means a little bit to him? It's going to be fun to watch him play with a lot of emotion. Kennedy Chandler was the most outstanding player at our Christmas tournament here in Nashville. So I got to watch him up close and personal and sat with Rick Barnes all 3 games as we watched Kennedy Chandler play in that event. I've been so excited to watch his progress. I think he's been outstanding. 10 games into the season, he leads the Vols in scoring. He leads them in assists. He pretty much accounts for half of the production through assists or through scoring. He really is the catalyst that makes this Tennessee team go. And as you said, Bo, he takes care of the basketball, almost a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio this year. For a freshman guard, 10 games into his collegiate career, that's pretty incredible numbers and astounding when you look at what he's doing in terms of production and what he's doing to really lead this team to the success that it's had with 8 wins on the season so far.
Coach, offensively, this team, as you said, pretty much runs through Kennedy Chandler, but defensively, it's kind of it's one of those things where you haven't seen somebody really step up and be a defensive force for this team in games against, decent competition. You can go back and watch Upstate or Presbyterian if you want, but when they've played Villanova and some of these other, North Carolina even, it just doesn't feel like this team has a defensive identity.
Yeah, they're doing it through a collective body of work. What you're alluding to, Chris, is them just really spreading out the responsibility. I do think Chandler, and how are we saying his name today? Vescovi or Vescovi? Either way, however you want to say it.
Drew, I'm glad that somebody else brought that up, because I was watching either the Greensboro game or the one after that, and suddenly he was Vescovi, and I'm like,
well,
what? Huh?
This must be a Tennessee thing, because Garantano was a thing for a long time.
Yeah. And I thought, for 3 years, this guy has been Vescovi, and now he's Vescovi.
That's right.
What?
I know. And it seems like, a lot of attention was made around that. I forget who the commentators were that day, but they were taking a beating on social media about how they were, pronouncing his name. But nevertheless, those
Santiago.
Yeah.
Santiago V. Yeah, that guy.
There you go. But they are, Chris, what's amazing, what you're speaking to is not really having that defensive stopper. But now I know the numbers do get skewed based on who they have played, but to have a +7 turnover margin you are doing something correct. You're taking care of the basketball, but you're also creating a lot of turnovers on the other end of the court. And so I do think this team does a really good job of really staying constant in their defensive principles. They stay accountable in their defensive principles, and they do a great job of making teams take tough shots overhand, and then they rebound the basketball extremely well. Even the guards rebound from the perimeter as well. So tomorrow's going to be interesting, though, because Memphis's front line is so long and so athletic and bouncy and rangy. And we saw against Alabama, how many alley-oop dunks did they get the other day, or second-chance points between Williams and Durant? So Tennessee, whether it's Fulkerson or however they take kind of a stake in the paint, is going to be a key storyline tomorrow as well.
Speaking with Drew Maddux here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. And Drew, we can't let you get off of here without asking you, because our third guy, JP Plant, is a huge Vanderbilt fan. Give us some thoughts on this Austin Peay game that's tomorrow afternoon on the SEC network.
Yeah, this is a game that Vanderbilt needs to win. Vanderbilt has played well in spurts, but they've lost 3 games in a row. And most of it is because of their ineffectiveness to shoot the basketball, which is so going against the history of Vanderbilt teams. This is a team that really can't find its identity offensively, really struggles to make jump shots from the perimeter other than Scottie Pippen Jr., really can't find any consistency other than Jordan Wright to score the basketball. So in the games where they've been good and played better, they've gotten other production from the perimeter from guys like Studi and Lawrence and Trey Thomas and those guys. So this is a story we're going to have to continue to watch as we go through the rest of December and into the SEC. Can Vanderbilt score the basketball consistently? Because actually this team is outstanding on the defensive end. They just can't figure out a way to get the ball in the basket, and that's abnormal for Vanderbilt. So hopefully they'll figure it out tomorrow. It'll be a great game. I love the coach now from Duke. What's the guy's name? His name just escaped me. Anyway, he's the new coach at Austin Peay, and so look forward to that matchup as well.
I'm looking forward to it. It's like Vanderbilt is kind of odd because they have really good individual players. They just haven't been able to kind of put it together. But if they do, watch out, it's a good basketball team that could emerge, mid-conference season. So looking forward to it. Drew, we appreciate you taking some time with us today. As always, it's a pleasure talking college hoops, and we were just talking about it. Had one of our Main Street Preps guys talking about maybe putting together a holiday tournament next year within the Main Street Preps area. So if we do, and you're not busy, we may have to put you on a broadcast or two.
I would love it, as long as it's not during my Christmas tournament that I still will continue to host up here at CPA, our next level hoops fest. But other than that, I'm all in.
Oh no, why would we want to compete with the best holiday tournament in the area? We're dumb. We're not idiots. Thanks, Coach.
I'm all in to help you guys anytime. Nate James, by the way.
Nate James is the name you were looking for. Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it. Goodness gracious.
Hey, thanks, Drew. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too, man. All right, we're going to talk college bowls. We're going to make some picks. Yeah. I don't even talk about it at this point. Stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Sports talk like it used to be. You know, like your crazy uncle used to listen to. Only better. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back in. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We are getting you ready for bowl season. How many games we got, JP?
I was just gathering them, so I'm not sure, but I know when to stop.
We have 8.
Okay.
8 between now and next Wednesday.
Okay.
So
4 and 4 then.
Guess we have 4 in this
4
segment.
and 4.
Next. Okay. Bad news for us. We all started 0-1. Good news for the Blue Raiders. And a winning season. Had to win in their last game
to get eligible.
And then gets the win over a Toledo team who was favored by 7.5 points we all thought would cover. This is a team that took Notre Dame to the wire. 5th ranked Notre Dame. And Middle just said, we don't care. We didn't come here just for vacation, baby.
They got the great weather and the win.
I'll tell you, man, watch out. Nick Vattiato is a ball player. 23 of 35, 270, 2 touchdowns.
And one was a 59-yard strike.
Yeah, Jaron Pierce is a bad man. And we knew that. We talked about him a bunch last year, but that dude is legitimately
legit.
I mean, he is a legitimate pro prospect. I don't think there's any question in my mind that guy can play on Sundays. And we've not said that a lot about many MTSU players in the last few years. So, I mean, good for him.
Yeah. And good for Middle. I mean, to finish up like that, that's a great win for them. And you know, you got those extra practices that come with a bowl and that kind of thing. And now you get to go into the off season feeling pretty spicy.
Yep.
You know,
and I'm happy for, of course, Reed Blankenship, as we said yesterday. If they were going to win, we were going to be happy for that kid.
Absolutely.
So there you go. And tonight, at 5 o'clock, I guess, If you're listening on radio, it's being played now.
That's just started, I guess. What time?
Yeah, not too long ago. Coastal in northern Illinois, taking off. But let's see. That's it for today. We picked yesterday App State, Western Kentucky, South Carolina State, Jackson State, and UTEP Fresno. So that means we start today with the Independence Bowl, which will kick off on Saturday at 2:30. And I was going to throw JP the keys, but he looks like he is typing.
I can handle
JP,
it. I can handle it.
take the reins, my friend.
Take the reins. All right. We'll get going with some music. All right. Up first, we have, as you mentioned, the Independence Bowl tomorrow. And it is UAB 8-4 versus number 13 BYU. Comes in at 10-2. And the Cougars are 8.5-point favorites. That would be BYU. Mo?
My gut tells me BYU. My concern is I'm not sure how motivated BYU, 13th ranked BYU, is going to be in Shreveport. I think I'm going to go with BYU anyway, but I just want to mention that that's a concern for me.
Well, I think BYU is going to win and cover, so I'm picking UAB. But much like you said, okay, UAB is more motivated. Again, highest penalized team in the country. But for whatever reason, Bill Clark is able to get his teams up for games like this. He's able to coach his teams for games like this. And because BYU may not be so motivated, UAB is going to be. I think they're, and I think BYU is going to win. So picking UAB.
I've ridden UAB I think a couple of times this year, and have been successful with it. It's been successful. By the way, I can now use my strategy, guys.
Yeah.
82% of those picking in in our online pick'em, 82%. This is across the world, across the country.
Yeah.
They're represented. Are on BYU.
How many?
82% are on BYU.
70% were on Toledo, by the way.
Yep. If I had paid attention and researched that and actually looked for that yesterday, I would have gone with MTSU. That's what I get for being lazy on that. So with this knowledge,
it's UAB
Blazers to cover 8.5. I like that.
That's fine.
They could win outright. Who knows? But Blazers get it done.
8.5. Yeah.
8.5. Yeah, 8.5. All right. Up next, Lending Tree Bowl. This is Eastern Michigan, 7-5, taking on Hugh Freeze's Liberty. They're the plural Flames, are they not?
They are the Flames.
7-5 as well, and Liberty 7.5-point favorites in this one. The Lending Tree Bowl, which will air Saturday at 4:45 Central on ESPN, or excuse me, 3:45 Central on ESPN. That may be 4:45. Either way,
it's 4:45.
It is. Yeah, these are Central times. Okay. What do you think, Mo?
Mentioned earlier in the show, Todd McShay's first mock draft that came out this week, and I think he has Malik Willis as the second quarterback off the board. I think in a nationally televised game, I think a lot of people are going to get eyes on him and get to see why that's the case. I like Liberty in this game.
Flames on a 3-game losing streak, which means they're probably
against
motivated.
Who and who?
Well, glad you asked. Ole Miss, Louisiana, and Army. Army scored 31 points against this team. That's unusual.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just going to motivate this team to win. And again, like you said, nationally televised. It's a game that, Hugh Freeze kind of thrives in. So I got the Flames.
You think Hugh Freeze has something to prove always, right?
He always
he does. Yeah.
Well, probably since he did not get another job.
I don't know that he wanted another.
You don't
job.
think so? Dude, he said that, but everybody
A
says
lot
that.
less pressure to win at Liberty,
That's
and they're
true.
going to pay him the same amount of money.
That's
Okay.
true. He is getting the money.
He's getting the money.
Yeah.
And there's less pressure. Okay.
And
I'm in.
his job didn't come open.
That's right.
The
Auburn job.
Mm-hmm.
The one he wanted. So, all right. I like Liberty too. I think they do cover 7.5. It's 51% are on Liberty, so it's basically an even pick with the amount of people and what they're doing on that one. So I'll go with Liberty on that one. Up next, we have what else? Typed it in here. Here we go. The Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, which is that's right, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Utah State 10-3 versus Oregon State 7-5, and the Beavers are 7.5 point favorites.
How many people have bowls named for them?
As many that want them.
Living people.
As many that want to pay for it. Yeah, but you're right. That may be the only one. It's interesting though.
I've never heard of one.
No, I can't recall one. That's crazy. I guess this is the first game AN after Napier for the Raging Cajuns.
What? No. We're in Utah State and Oregon State.
Oh, my fault. I jumped to the next one.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oregon State is -7.5.
That's all right.
My bad.
You're probably not alone
I
that
jumped
would
ahead.
jump over that one.
I jumped ahead. Oh.
Utah State and Oregon State may not peg the needle for many people.
Oh, you
either.
did. It certainly does not. There's a reason I skipped over this. Yeah. I'm picking Oregon State basically on the basis of their win over Oregon earlier this year. I mean, I don't know how Utah State got to be 10-3.
Well, they play in the Mountain West.
They beat San Diego State. All right, so they beat Washington State. They beat Air Force. They lost to Boise and BYU. Then they lost to Wyoming, who's pretty good, by the way. Better than you think they are. And then beat San Diego State like an absolute drum when we had their game
When we picked San Diego State?
Yes.
Or when I picked San Diego State?
I picked San Diego State too.
Yeah.
So that's how they got there. I'm going with Oregon State because I feel like this is one of those times where Power 5 school can't afford to lose to a G5 school. And so they've got to bring out all the stops.
So only 26% are on the Beavers. People picking.
Also, Beavers is my mom's maiden name.
Okay. So there you go. For that reason, too, I'll go with Oregon State -7.5.
Hey,
sealed it.
All right. And finally, in this segment, we've got 4 more coming up in the next segment, so stay tuned. But the New Orleans Bowl, Nolans Bowl, depending on Nolans, how you choose to say that. Kind of somewhat of a home team.
Vescovi.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Tomato.
Mm.
The Raging Cajuns now without Napier.
Right. There we
without
go.
Napier.
As I was saying.
As the head coach, 12-1. Take it on Marshall, 7-5, and Louisiana Raging Cajuns, 6.5 point favorites in their home state.
I think Louisiana is going to be motivated again to prove that, we weren't just about Billy Napier. And they're playing at home.
Essentially.
And they're 12-1. And I like Louisiana in this one.
Also on a 12-game win streak. Their loss came to Texas in week 1. So they've won 12 straight. Now, of those, App State's probably the best win. Maybe Liberty. They beat Liberty like a drum. And then they beat App State again last week, or 2 weeks ago, 24-16 in the Sun Belt Championship.
So did they not play Coastal?
No. I don't think
I guess they're in
Coastal
divisions.
lost to App State. So,
But I mean, I guess
yes.
they did not play during the regular
Correct.
season. Yeah.
Correct.
Guess I didn't realize the Sun Belt was big enough that not everybody played everybody.
Yeah, it's a pretty big conference.
Yeah.
Now, Marshall is just an absolute. They're up in the air. I got nothing.
They're all over the place.
They really are, and so.
I mean, they're 7-5, and I imagine they almost went win-loss through the year.
No, they won 4 straight.
Did they?
And then, yeah.
They lost to Western, though, right?
They did lose to Western when I told you that Bailey Zapp's the best quarterback that you've not heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana's going to romp in this. Absolutely. They're going to beat Marshall as bad as they want to beat them.
Which will be by at least 6.5.
At least 6.5.
So 82% of the fans voting on this are on Louisiana.
As they should.
82%. 6.5 points, touchdown. I don't know if you noticed, Chris, my name in our pool.
I have not seen it.
Uh-oh.
Number 1 seed. For a reason, because I stuck to a plan, right? So I got to stick with it, right?
Well, best of the best 14-23 is now the number 1 seed because they were the only one to pick middle to cover.
Well, going in, I was the number 1 seed, right? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to get a confirmation. So with that, I got to go with Marshall. And that gives me a leg up on the 2 of you. So that's always a nice bonus. Anytime I can pick against the 2 of you.
Or leg down. Depends on what happens. We'll see.
Either way, we'll shake it.
When is that one?
That one is Saturday night, 8:15 on ESPN.
Prime
time with no prime time.
Yeah. We've got 4 more games to talk about and pick, so come back on the other side of the break. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are back to the Lee Company studio right after these fine messages from our friends and sponsors on radio and on video. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in to the final segment of this Friday. Oh, yeah. Can't beat it. No, you don't, but it certainly helps. JP?
Yes, sir.
Have you got your anchor down or your Vanderbilt fight song still loaded in there?
I can get it queued up for you.
You should probably get that because Langston Patterson's older brother, former Adidas All-American Kane Patterson, is headed to West End.
All right, you got to give me a little more time than that.
I would first like to start off by thanking God. Without him, none of this would be possible. I would also like to thank Coach Sweeney and Clemson football for the past 3 years. With that being said, I will be finishing my career at Vanderbilt University. It has always been my dream of mine to play football with my brother Langston at the next level. I would like to thank Coach Lee, Coach Minter, and Coach Eggs for this opportunity. I can't wait to get to work. Hashtag anchor down. Kane Patterson. Man, it's a big deal. I think he's going to be a huge asset to that program and make a quick impact.
Now I wonder is he immediately eligible? I don't know who is, who's not. Is he graduated? Does it matter?
As far as I'm aware, he is eligible to play. I mean,
and do you base that on anything in particular, or?
I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I just don't know what the rules are.
Exactly.
If you the long and short of it is, if you wish to transfer and be released from your college scholarship, you'll need to be asked to be released from your current institution. Once part of the student athletes must meet minimum required courses per quarter in order to uphold athletic scholarship and institutional financial aid. But that's it. I mean, it's
according to 247sports.com. Kane Patterson could start alongside Anthony Orji in 2022. Sophomore linebacker Ethan Barr did make 85 tackles this season, second on the team. It is unclear how many transfer Vanderbilt will take this offseason, but Patterson is expected to arrive on West End in January. He will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. So there you go.
There you go.
So he's got 2 years of eligibility starting with the
This year.
upcoming season.
There you go.
This is interesting. Former 24/7 Sports Director of Scouting Barton Simmons, now Vanderbilt's general manager, wrote the following scouting report on Kane Patterson in 2018. Medium-sized defender, has some tweener characteristics physically, but has matured over his career into a capable body at Mike. Not overly long, but well-conditioned and big enough. Plays with light feet and good lateral ability, can navigate through trash effectively to find the football. Great feel for finding gaps and attacking downhill. Shows good closing speed, effective as a blitzer with a high motor and an ability to play through blocks. Plays running back and wildcat quarterback on offense, translating positively to many of the above traits. Athletic enough. Can show some stiffness in coverage, but has ball skills and pass drop instincts. May struggle at the next level with bigger linemen engulfing him on the second level. High floor prospect that looks like a multi-year starter and mid-round NFL draft pick. So that's what then 24/7 Director of Scouting Barton Simmons wrote regarding Kane Patterson 3 years ago.
Yeah, then 24/7 recruiting.
Mhm.
Now recruiting coordinator and scouting director for Vanderbilt football.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now we know.
So
That's awesome.
So they've got a little insight into Kane Patterson.
So they do. JP, let's talk about some bowl games.
You ready to keep it going?
Let's do it.
All right. Get the music going again. And as we widen out the view, put our wide angle lens to get all three of us in the shot on our social media pages. And just a mental image for radio listeners. We look good. Up first. You ready? Oh, were you about to go into it?
No.
You got something else?
The Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Yes.
Where'd it go?
Oh, it's in Myrtle Beach.
Yep. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
What do you mean?
On your list.
It's first.
Jonathan.
Well, I don't know where it went, but I got it on video. So Myrtle Beach Bowl, Old Dominion versus Tulsa. Old Dominion's, I'll tell you here, Old Dominion 6-6, Tulsa 6-6, and Tulsa 7.5 point favorite.
2 6-6 teams.
But Old Dominion's on a 5-game win streak.
I was leaning toward Old Dominion because I'm the few times I paid any attention to Tulsa, which I think Cincinnati was one of those, they've been getting drilled.
28-20 against Cincy.
Really?
That was one of the games that everybody was pointing to.
Oh, that Cincinnati didn't get any star points. Okay.
But they beat SMU. They beat Temple, and they beat Tulane in their last 3. Before that, they're 3-2 in their last 5, and the 2 losses were to Cincinnati and to Navy by a combined 11 points. They put up 435 a game on offense, and they give up 379.
Tulsa's a 7.5.
7.5.
I'm taking ODU to cover. Might not win. I'm taking them to cover.
I just don't know. I mean, they're on, like I said, they're on a pretty solid win streak. They've beaten Tech, FIU, FAU, MTSU, and Charlotte. So clearly they found their stride at the right time. The line has actually moved to 9. So there's that. I think you might be right. I think ODU may cover this thing. I was leaning toward Tulsa, but now I'm feeling like ODU might be finding their rhythm. Oh, I'm going to go with the Monarchs rather than the Hurricane.
ODU finding their rhythm. I like it. All right. Let's see. We've got 30% on the Monarchs. So I'm going to go with that. I like them too. Maybe different reasons, but
sounds like
they're finding their rhythm, Chris.
They are, in fact, finding their rhythm.
Finding their rhythm. All right. Up next is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Side of scattered, smothered, and covered.
Crisp.
And capped. You know what the capped is?
Mushrooms. No.
That's right.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Smothered, covered, cap's the only way to go.
Yep, that's right. We've had this conversation before.
We have, in fact.
Mo, and you're still wrong. Kent State 7-5. Wyoming 6-6, and the Cowboys of Wyoming are 4.5 point favorites in this one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got nothing. I'm going with Wyoming, but I got nothing to base it on.
Big money's on Kent State. Line has moved to 3. Wyoming is now just a 3-point favorite. They lost to Hawaii in their last game, and based on what we've read about Hawaii lately, I don't know how anybody's losing to Hawaii. So,
but they beat Utah State.
They did, in fact, and not just beat, drilled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely
So-
just smoked them. So it's like, I mean, I'm going with Wyoming, but it's not. It's a throw up pick.
You mean
A-
throw
a
up?
toss up, you mean?
Or a regurgitation?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
Your choice.
Oh man. I'm gonna go Wyoming because they're closer to where they're playing in Boise. It is
Yeah.
in Boise, right?
Yeah,
Can't imagine where else.
and it's outside of Albertsons. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not in the dome like it used to be.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Wyoming in this one. Although Kid State, they get some cold weather up there, up on the lake, but Wyoming -4.5. I like them. All right. Up next is the Frisco Bowl, not to be confused with another bowl name with a similar.
Isn't that something?
Frisco Bowl, UTSA, the Roadrunners, 12-1 versus number 24 San Diego State. That's where Mo would have gone if he had been recruited. Yep.
That's where I would have gone on a visit. I
Yeah.
don't know that I would have gone to school there. Man, the Roadrunners have been impressive all year. And,
Except against North Texas.
Yep.
Go figure.
well, I don't know. I guess everybody gets them all. I'm going with UTSA.
What'd you say the line was, JP?
2.5
2.5.
in favor of UTSA.
Well, this game is in Frisco, Texas.
It is.
So there's that. Of course, I'm not sure that San Antonio is any closer than San Diego to Frisco, Texas. San Antonio's down there. But, I mean,
That's a good point.
San Diego State has burned me twice this year. They're not going to do it again. I got UTSA covering.
Yeah, I think UTSA. I think they want to finish off. Their coach has signed a long-term extension, and I think they're more excited to be there. That's what I'm going with.
They probably are more excited to be there.
That's what I'm going to go with. So I'll go with UTSA covered. All right, and finally today it is the Armed Forces Bowl. Missouri 6-6 versus Army 8-4. Army 3.5-point favorite, and this game is Wednesday evening, 7:00 on ESPN. I believe Fort Worth is where they play this one.
Yeah, I think that's right. Tough to pick the non-Armed Forces program in the Armed Forces Bowl, so I'm going to go with Army.
They do play this in Fort Worth. This is at TCU Stadium, at Carter Stadium. I'm going with the SEC team here.
It's Missouri.
It is Missouri, but they did beat South Carolina, Florida, and Vanderbilt in 3 of their last 5. They lost to Arkansas by 17. And I know Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Florida is not.
It's not Murderers Row.
No, but they're still better battle tested. So I'm going with Missouri. The over-under is 57. Hammer the under.
I don't know. Army can score sometimes. Remember that Wake Forest game?
Mm-hmm. Of course, I think how much of that was a function of Wake Forest just letting folks score so they get the ball?
That's
be.
right.
Could be. I like Army. I think they win easily here. I'm not sold on Missouri. Army with that that option attack, wing T, that offense that Missouri probably hasn't seen. Now, granted, they've got plenty of time to prep for it, but you don't see it in regular season. That's like Army.
Mm-hmm.
I think they win. I'm not big on Missouri.
All right. That's going to do it for your Friday show. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Come back on Monday. Again, short week next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday only. So you're going to get a ton of college football talk. Reaction Monday to the Titans, to college football, to college hoops, and high school stuff. Check out MainStreetMurray.com, MainStreetPreps.com for full coverage of high school sports tonight. JP will be in Summertown. Mo, wrestling at Summit. I will be in Independence. There you go.
podcast too.
Podcast. The first takedown comes up tonight. Hey, thanks for joining us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. We'll see you Monday.